So how much practice did you do? Did you try the sheet? Did anyone try or no?
Yes, sir. I have tried a few commands, creating directories and removing directories,
Okay,
removing folders. I mean, directories only, not folders.
keep doing, keep
And
doing, keep doing. Yeah.
few commands like updating, installing tree, and all those commands.
No problem, no problem. Just keep trying.
But we have some issues. I mean, while creating an instance, so we are able to take SSH from the browser only. But actually, I didn't get the access to classes. I mean, recorded sessions. So once I need to go through that session, I'm having some doubts on that. So
Okay. You
yeah,
did not
I'm
get
getting,
access to recorded session.
yeah.
How can it be? Do we have a class today? Somebody put a message. Class will be there until I say there is no class. Yesterday, water
Correct.
spill up on my laptop. Too unfortunate.
నాగేంద్ర గారు అది క్లాస్ రికార్డింగ్స్ దొరకలే ఇంకా.
We'll sort it out. Just a moment. Let me log in now here. Okay. We'll sort it out live now.
Yesterday, someone asking for WhatsApp group, sir. So
I'll tell you, there is one WhatsApp group for institute. Okay.
okay,
Let that WhatsApp group be different.
okay.
There is no point in having WhatsApp groups there. I actually hate WhatsApp. I just don't even look into WhatsApp until or unless somebody asks a doubt. I just look from outside. Okay.
Not for doubts, but if
No,
you
no. For
want
if
to,
somebody has for doubts, then only I'll answer.
okay.
What I generally do is somebody has a doubt. Is it Then I'll answer. But otherwise, keep
If you
pinging one
want to
one.
if you want to
If I want,
inform like
you,
anything,
we have a group, right? There is a group. There are two groups. One group for my personal team, one group for the institute. 1 second.
okay.
This is Microsoft. If you are trying to sign in, press the pound key to continue. 181529. Again, your code is 181529.
Okay. Now first we'll sort it out. Who does not have access? AB.data9R did not reply. He did not accept.
యాక్చువల్లీ రఘువేంద్ర గారు అది ఐఎమ్
Oh,
అనేబుల్ టు లాగిన్ ఇన్ టు దట్ అకౌంట్. That's why I've given another account for you in WhatsApp.
Okay. Ramesh
Yeah,
RGJAKKULA did not accept.
sorry, sir. Actually, the issue is with my end only. I did not see the email. Sorry.
No problem, yeah. No, sorry. Satish Amarapu 8 did not accept. I'm not sure if he connected today.
Yeah, actually, he is in some occasions.
Vinita also did not
Um,
accept.
Sorry, sir. Can you please add my email ID again? It's vinitavarikuti19 at the rate of gmail.com.
But, oh, okay. This is wrong one.
Yes, yes.
Generally, these days, Google Classroom is very angry. Let us see if it allows to add again. Okay, now let me try to add VINI.
THA
Okay,
Varikuti VARI
KUTI
KUTI 19
@gmail.com.
gmail.com. Yes, sir.
So you are lucky. It sent an invite, and I have to remove this one. ab.data 9R.
Yeah, it's mine. I'll give you another one right now.
Issues. Yeah, tell the new
It's
one.
ABDU
ABDU
DEV 2K4 number 2K4 @gmail.com.
Okay, so please check and accept all of you, and you get access to Classroom. Okay. And I hope everybody has their own Linux instance in where? Google.
Google Cloud.
Excellent. Don't worry if I'm doing in Azure. That doesn't matter where I do. Having a Linux instance is the only thing that is more important.
Actually, Ravendra Garu, it is asking the class code to join.
It should not ask. It doesn't allow via class code. You should be able to join.
Yeah, I've opened the link, but it's asked your teacher for the class code, then enter it here.
It should not ask class code. Gunjan, how did you resolve it when it is asking class code?
Yes, sir. When I was joining by my phone, then it was asking me for the class code. But when I joined by laptop, it didn't ask. I directly
Correct.
joined it.
So join by laptop, Abdul.
Yeah, sure.
Why? Because Classroom is very wild actually. I don't know why they made rapid changes during last November. Suddenly it will take you out of Classroom. Suddenly it will remove your Classroom access. It behaves so wildly. So I'm also looking at migrating from Classroom. It's causing a lot of trouble. So ideally Classroom loves working with laptop first, then you can add through mobile.
Yes, she was right. I just joined from the laptop and got the videos.
But what the difference it should make between mobile and the laptop?
Maybe some sort of security reason. They
What?
just
Yeah, that is your one. Once you are given a classroom access, it doesn't care. I mean, doesn't matter right from where you are accessing.
yeah.
Anyways, I mean, let's sort it out. So now let's go and work with
Nagendra, as I got access right now, can we use Ming 64 for the Linux?
For yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can use that. That's a good tool actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good tool. I mean, if you are habituated to that, definitely you can use it. You know it. You know how to use it.
Yeah, it's from Git Bash. Right?
Yeah, you can comfortably use it. It's an officially supported tool by Microsoft itself. Many people in Microsoft use it. Yeah. Now we'll see the other commands. So we know how to create directories. The only thing you have to remember is if you want to create a directory structure, you have to add -p path command. Okay, this is not important at the moment. For example, when tomorrow I'm going to talk about permissions, then you understand it. Like in Windows, if there is a folder, let me go into Windows and show you. For example, I'm in Windows. There is a folder called Workspaces. If I make a right click and go to Properties, I go to a tab called Security, and here I can define which user has what permissions. Some users may have read permission, some users may have write permission, some users can modify the content, some users have full control. If I say deny, some users do not have any access. So I can actually control which user can do what with a directory. I cannot directly give permissions for a, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll take my word back. Okay. So we can control access to files and folders using security tab. Like, because these are security permissions. This is called access control list, ACL. Access control list. Who can access what? So every object, in this case, the object is a directory. The object is a workspace. This object has an access control list. That list will tell which user has what level access. Make sense? The same thing you have to achieve in Linux. So to achieve the same thing in Linux, then I have to teach you permissions, one of the most important concept. Even though DevOps engineers don't really use it well, we don't care actually. There are Linux admins who will tinker with permissions. But we don't care. But we should study it. So this is one such command. Giving 777 is a suicide. Everybody is given all access, including hackers, crackers, smackers, everybody. Okay. So then there is another thing you should understand. When you create a folder, there by default there are some permissions given. That are default permissions. They are good enough to secure your Linux. But you might want to tighten the screw, or you might want to unwind and be a little loose. Then you have to play with permissions. For example, one of the wildest permission people use when you install something called Docker. Okay, Docker is a Docker is one thing that is very important for us in DevOps. We create servers. Actually, to really tell you, the concept of server is dead. For example, very very early in IT industry, there were mainframes. By 2000, mainframes were dead. Mainframe is like a computer that is the size of an apartment and hundreds of users connect. So if a company wanted to buy a laptop, they have to buy a mega mainframe. It's a big mainframe. After that came servers. You take a server, you buy a like a laptop. You can expect server as 50 times more powerful than a laptop, a heavily configured machine. Now I have a server. I have my website running in the server. What if the server is down? My website is down. Okay, I'll buy second server. Imagine there are two websites in that server. Because of mismanagement of one server, for example, Wipro.com, TCS.com are hosted on the same server. And because there is a problem with Wipro.com website, TCS.com website also goes down. So people did not like this idea. Yeah, stuffing everything in a single box is a risky thing. As long as servers are running, we are happy. So what they thought is, suppose you have a website, divide your website into 10 parts. That is called microservices. You divide your website into 10 parts and host each in a miniature version of the server. For example, I don't know, in when we were young, when we go to exhibition, we used to buy toys, car toy. I still remember purchasing an aeroplane that will really fly in the house. Just like that, it flies. The toys actually. We buy trains. They are miniature version of the originals. Similarly, they have created miniature version of the servers called containers. They do not have more than 2 GB or 1 GB RAM, very small. Whereas a server is having about 128 GB RAM, 384 GB RAM, 1 terabyte RAM, 32 GB RAM, 64 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, the minimal server. The servers are heavy in configuration. Whereas now your website is chopped into multiple pieces called as microservices. Now, this is hosted in something called as container. Containers are created using a software called Docker. And containers are very small. Now, what happens is I divided your website into 10 containers. Into 10 small things, and each microservice or each part is hosted in a container. So I require 10 containers to run your server. What I will do is instead of 10, I will run 40 containers. So I am giving you 4 times availability. So even if a container is down, there is another container. And it is easy to maintain these small miniature creatures than the large objects. So that is what you will see, how to host microservices and applications using Docker. One of the most fascinating invention of 20s. Post 2000 era, it has radically revolutionized. Today, all of you are getting jobs and your families are happy, you are happy. We should all thank Docker. Without Docker, we would not be in a position here. I would not be teaching you, you would not be listening to me. So we'll see that. So imagine container as a small object rather than a big server. Getting the point, yes or no? I send a rocket to invade China, or I send a swarm of drones to invade China. That's okay. Here we are not talking any nationalism. I am not doing any political exercise here. The point is, this is the latest thing that is happening in the market. Yesterday there is a news that we wanted to counter China using swarm of drones. Same thing China is doing. Yes or no? See, a clustered group of drones. Earlier we were sending only one drone. Now we are sending a clustered drone. See, this is a swarm. So India is a pioneer in swarm. India is now number one in swarm. So what is a swarm? Instead of sending a big rocket, we will send small munitions. Yes or no? Docker does the same. But the point what I want to tell here is, when Docker runs, you cannot. Now, what happens is, when you run Docker, if you do not work properly, Docker will deny permission to you. Okay, Docker will not allow you to connect. That means there is a separate mechanism for maintaining Docker. Now people bypass it. People bypass it. People don't understand it. And these useless people who knows Linux, what they will do is they will modify permissions as 777. But that's a security issue. The moment you make it 777, immediately hackers attack your Docker servers. So 777 is a dangerous permission that will allow everybody to connect without authentication. So while teaching Linux permission, I might not be able to make you a champion of permissions because we don't care so much thing. I mean, we don't need so much thing, but definitely you need to know the minimal permissions what you should give and the danger permissions what you should not do. Okay, this is a good example. If you go back, the same thread runs since many years. Whenever there is a permission issue, people will ask you to change Sri Ram Ramanujam, typical Indian attitude. 100% he will tell you to fix it, use 777. Did he tell you? He did not tell you. Okay, he did not tell you to add it 777. I'm really amused that an Indian did not do it. Okay, this guy is doing exactly. I know this Indian mentality. If not 777, 666. Typical Desi mentality. నేను బాగుండాలా నాది బాగుండాలా ఇంకేదైనా పర్లే. So don't ever follow any Indians giving you answers to these security questions. This is an absolutely absurd permission. So that is that's okay. I'm not demeaning India, but that is what I follow. Okay. So permissions are one of the danger things. Why I have spent 15 minutes only talking on it is never ever give without approval 66677. It is like a suicide. It is like, opening doors and telling the hacker, Aja, Aja, Aja. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Then, yeah, you practice these things. Then remove is a great tool. Okay. If you want to remove files or folders, you can use remove. Now, here, what I'm going to do is, if I say ls, can you see here? There are, okay, I'll do like this. I'll create a file. Now, how to create a file? Option A, use a editor like Nano. Nano is a editor, and I'm going to create a file server.config. Okay. Now I'm just going to add some dummy lines. Now say Control O, and you have a help out here. This is Control O. This is Control X to exit. Now say Control O, then say Control X to exit. Now ls list the contents will list horizontally. Ls minus L will list vertically. Now you have server.config. So how did I create it? Using Nano. Actually, you need not create, you need not use Nano. The easiest way to create a file in Linux is using touch command. Okay. Now I'm going to create a file container.config. Now what did I do? I created an empty file. Ls minus L will show you that container.config size is 0. Touch is a command which will do two things. It will create an empty file. At morning 8:36 a.m. here, we created empty file. Okay. One day, what happens is one of the developers comes and tells, Arey, Raghav bro, in my server, almost 90% drive is filled. Are you getting the point? He says, can you clean up? Then I will tell him, boss, that is what I am looking at. When you will ask me to clean up. Now tell me what to clean up. He says, must folder say re bhai kya? I don't know. Both of us are confused because there is no documentation for this company. What to have, what to be there, what not to be there. But he says one thing, sir, these are the folders, these are the 10 folders where we do development. Let us delete all the files that are accessed more than 2 years ago. That's a good thing, no? Yes or no? Last 2 years onwards, you are not accessing, means you don't need it. Every file or folder, whenever you access, will have the latest access timestamp. I'll show it here. If I go to properties, I'll go to a file. You have created date, you have modified date, you have last access date. This is important. So when you are not accessing a file for a long time, last access will be that date when you last accessed it. Okay. So now taking this as a opportunity, what I want to do is I want to tell my backup program, delete all the files that are accessed 2 years ago. And since last 2 years, whichever files that are not last access, the last access date is 2 years back, I want to delete. Now, one of the most important things is there might be some configuration files which people don't access every day. But they need the configuration files for the applications to run properly. You don't change server configuration and again, right? So what this guy does is he will give me a list of files that are important. So what I will use is I will write a shell script, and there I will say, for example, now touch container.config. So what did earlier touch command do? Earlier touch command created a file called container.config. For example, if you see here, demonset.aml was created on February 13th. Now what happens if I say touch demonset.aml? Now let me say ls minus l. If you can see, demonset.aml has old timestamp. The last access time was February 13, 0012. Now, when I touched it, once you touch an existing file, the timestamp will be updated to latest. Can you see here? It's a live example. Yes or no? Earlier, the timestamp was February 13, midnight, 12 o'clock, 12 minutes. So I was actually working. I was working all through, until early morning today. We had a deployment actually today. Yesterday I was working. Yeah. Yesterday night I was working. No. Day before yesterday night I was working. So this is the time. Now when I say touch the file, what happens is touch command will update the last access time. So touch has two things to do. If the file is not existing, he will create a new file. When I said earlier touch container.config, it created a new file called container.config, but that is empty file, 0 bytes. The second touch command is executed against a file that is already existing. So if a file is already existing, touch command will update the timestamp. So what we do is we will be having, I'll show you the script later. We will be having a script running 24/7 every day midnight or 24/7. People work in different time. But what I do is every day the moment it hits midnight 12 o'clock, my script will run and all files will be touched once. Because I'm going to touch all the important files, each file will have the latest access timestamp as today's date and midnight. Do you agree, all of you? Yes or no? Now the backup program is not confused actually. Backup program will not delete this file. Why? Because the timestamp is latest. Are you all? This is a simple way to escape from backup program to or a destruction program to delete unused data. Did you all get my point? How touch can be used?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Touch creates a new file, or if the file is existing, touch will update the timestamp. So in your real life also, this is the real life use case. Deleting unwanted files is based on timestamp. If the last access date is so and so, you can tell the backup program to delete. Backup program or whatever script you write will delete. Okay, that is one thing about touch. So in how many ways you can create a file? There are many ways. One is using an editor like Nano. Nano file name will actually create a new file. You want to write something, you enter, say Control O, Control Exist. Or touch will also create a empty file. That's the only difference. Or there is an editor like VA. VA is one of the oldest editor in Linux. The name of the editor is VA. Okay, VA editor also can be used to actually, add some data. So I used VA editor to create a file. So there are multiple ways. You can also use cat command to create a file. Well, yes, you can also use cat command. So there are many ways to create a file. Okay, that is about touch. Now, when I want to remove files, how shall I remove a file? Let me list the files I have. I have couple of files. I wanted to delete server.config file. So it's simply rm minus, we have seen this command day before yesterday. I'll say server.config. Now, when you want to type, you need not type everything. You just type one letter. Now, how many files are there with yes? There are 2 files with yes. Okay. For both of them, server is common, right? Say, for example, I want to delete this file, f file name.config. There is only one file here starting with f letter. All you need to do is say f and tab. It will fill the file name. Tab will fill the file name. This is called tabbed browsing. Now here I have 2 files. Until server it is common. So if I say yes and if I say tab, it will fill until server because both of them has common things until server. After this has something, this has something else. Now if I say dot and press tab, it will fill config. So I can remove a file like this, or if the file is in open state, I can say -f, or I can use wildcards. I want to delete all the files that are having .config extension. So what is it I have to give? star.config. So this .config file is deleted. This .config file is deleted. This .config file is deleted. This is deleted. Can you see? Now if I say list, all the files are deleted. Now how to delete this project? So this project has some files inside. So to delete a folder, you have to add -r, means recursive. Means recursive will go into the folder. You go into the folder, first delete low level items, then come to top level item and delete that also. So r project. So it is asking you, do you want me to remove? Say yes. It's asking questions, right? Do you want me to remove? Do you want me to remove? Do you want me to remove? I said no. Now that will not be removed. Why? Because I said no. It is asking lot of questions here. For every item, it is asking questions. Do you want me to remove? I really got angry. Okay. I said don't remove. I need to find another way. Okay, the other way is rm-r is asking you interactively questions. Do you want me to remove? Do you want me to remove? If you say F, force, when you force it, no questions asked, silently removed. Okay, because sometimes it is irritating, right? It is asking for everything. Do you want me to delete? Do you want me to delete? So where you found you don't want to be asked again, put a F, force flag. Hey, by the way, these are called flags. This is the command. This is a flag. -r is a flag. -f is a flag. R means recursive. F means forcibly. That is what I try to tell here. And you can use wildcards. Now, if you give -i, it is interactive. Say, for example, let me create some couple of files. I am creating 1.txt space 2.txt. The single touch command will create both the files. Space 3.txt space 4.txt space 5.txt. I am creating 5 files. If I say list contents, you can see all the files. Now I say rm-i star.txt. So it's asking questions. -i is interactive. So what we do is, when people ask us to delete folders, we delete using RF. When people ask me to delete files, especially if they are configuration files, I always have a habit of using -i. Okay, why? Maybe by mistake you are deleting a file. Who knows? Nobody knows. Say yes, yes, yes. Oh, file 4 is important. No. File 5 also is important. Unnecessary you gave them. Now, if I say list contents, 4 and 5 are not deleted. So make sure you make it a habit of interactive. You need to have tremendous patience while becoming a DevOps engineer, while working as a DevOps engineer. Okay, don't look into comforts. Especially when you are deleting, you got to be too much attentive. File once lost cannot be recovered. This is not Windows where you can recover from recycle bin. I think I have something here in recycle bin. I can recover them. But you cannot recover files and folders in Linux. Move is a terrific command. Move has two things to do. It will move a file from one folder to other. Now let me create two directories. mkdir, I am creating F1, that is a folder. Now I am also creating a folder F2. So I have two folders here. If I want to move the file 4.txt to where? To F1 folder, I need to give like this: mv move space what to move, source. Source is 4.txt file. Destination where to move, F1. Similarly, mv move, I want to move 5.txt to where? To F2. Now if I say ls, you don't see the files there. If I say tree command, you can see that 4.txt is moved to F1, 5.txt is moved to F2. Move is a terrific command. The difference between copy and move is copy command, when I copy a file to another directory, it will keep a copy here. It will not delete the file here. So this is the difference in Windows cut and paste, copy and paste. Hope you understood it. CP command, move command will do the same things. They will copy contents from one place to another, but move commands will delete the file in the original location and paste it in the destination location, whereas copy command will keep a copy there. So there is no difference here in terms of copy and move. But move is also used to do something else. Suppose I want to rename the file 4.txt to 400.txt. So I can say move, okay, in slash F1, there is a file called 4.txt. Sorry. Move in F1 folder, there is a file called 4.txt. I want to rename it as what? 400.txt. Then let us see what happens. That will rename. So I have to give the whole path. Or if you don't want to do like that, you go to F1 folder, pwd, I am in F1 folder. You can also confirm in which folder you are. Before dollar, whatever it is showing you, that is your folder. You are in F1 folder. If a list content, so my file is here itself. So here I can go and rename. I want to rename 400.txt to 4.txt. Yes, it renamed. If I list, I can see 4. So either you give the whole path, or you go into that particular folder and rename it. So move is a great command that is used to rename. I need not explain copy. Copy does what move does. Yeah, cat is a great command. Cat will duplicate to cat has a lot of functions. Cat will duplicate for a command, files. For example, I have linux.log. Let me create a file. Let me go to my home directory. CD space still will take you to your home directory. That is nothing but home Linux admin. Now let me clear the screen. Let me create a nano linux.log. And here in this example, I used capital L. Capital L is different to small l. Please be noted. Linux is case sensitive. Be careful. That's okay. I just created for you to understand. I said nano linux.log. I'm going to write some lines here. Maruti, Hyundai, Toyota. I have a few lines. I just wrote a few lines. I say Control O, Control X. Now, if I wanted to see what is there in the file, I need not again use Nano Editor to open the file and see the contents. All I need to do is use a cat command. cat and the file name will print the contents here. And if you see there is an empty line printed, means I have given an empty line. Can you see here? This is empty line. So you go back to Nano. So if you go back here, there is an empty line. So you say back press. Now the empty line is deleted. Now you save and exit. Now again print it. Cat space file name will print. Now the empty line is deleted. So be careful, gentlemen. Empty lines will cause troubles. Empty lines are also advantageous. I'll show both the things when we do DevOps. Okay, so cat command will display on the screen contents of a file. Now there is an interesting thing. Now see this command, cat minus n will add line numbers. At the moment there are no line numbers. I just have some, for example, see this. Cat minus n will instruct cat command to add line numbers. Line numbers to which file? linux.org. And I'm telling hello beta, can you duplicate this file for me? Yes, sir. As what file you want me to duplicate? You duplicate as any file. Linux.log does not have line numbers. I want a new linux.log with line numbers. So what I will do is, I will just add linux-n, indicating it is another file with line number. Or if you are getting confused, I want to duplicate linux.log as windows.log. So a copy of linux.log is created. It has all the contents, but also line numbers. Now, if I say cat windows.log, you will see that line numbers are added. So cat minus n is used to add line numbers to a file. Not a very important thing, but sometimes you wanted to see line numbers. Now, let me edit windows.log. Let me only edit linux.log. Now let me give. So sometimes what happens, developers have a habit. Generally what they do, they will unnecessarily press 2-3 enters and type something. A lot of people have this bad habit. They will learn it from seniors, they will just enter 2-3 lines. Doing that, you are unnecessarily adding spaces. Now if I say cat linux.log, you will see a lot of spaces. That is nasty thing. Why do you want spaces here? You are unnecessarily wasting it. Now I want to cut down the spaces. So add s flag. Now let me execute this command. Oh, there is no capital Linux, there is small Linux. So what did it do? Yes will cut short the spaces. Now, if I say cat windows.log, it will cut down to single space. Earlier, I had multiple spaces, right? I have multiple spaces. So multiple spaces are cut down into single space. Can you see? Single space. Yeah, sometimes, you wanted to create some files giving a space so that you have more clarity. Yes command will do that. Yes command will actually, if there are multiple spaces in between, it will cut short into single space. Interesting command. I never used it much. Yes, Manjuna, do you have a doubt?
యా ఒక్కసారి ఆ కమాండ్ లైన్కి ఒకసారి వెళ్తారా లైనెక్స్ దాన్ని. సో ఇక్కడ క్యాట్ -ns లైనెక్స్ డాట్ లాగ్ అని మెన్షన్ చేశారు కదా. సో ఆల్రెడీ లైనెక్స్ డాట్ ఎల్ఓజిని విండోస్ డాట్ ఎల్ఓజి కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేశారు కదా ఆల్రెడీ.
ఓవర్ రైట్ అయిపోతుంది.
రీనేమ్
లాగా ఓవర్ రైట్, రీనేమ్ కాదు, ఓవర్ రైట్ ఇది.
ఓవర్ రైట్ చేశారా? ఓకే. సో నేనేమనుకున్నా అంటే క్యాట్ స్పేస్ -ns విండోస్ డాట్ లాగ్ అని డైరెక్ట్ మెన్షన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా అని చెప్పేసి డౌట్ వచ్చింది.
లేదు లేదు లేదు.
ఓకే,
యూ ట్రై దట్ అండ్ టెల్ మీ.
షూర్.
ఓకే, దెన్ యా, దిస్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్, ఇది కొద్దిగా ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ గా ఉంటుంది. క్యాట్ కి ఆపోజిట్ ఈ స్టాక్. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? ఇట్ విల్ రివర్స్ ద కంటెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎ ఫైల్. నో లెట్ మీ టైప్ cat బదులు tac windows.log. You can see that Mahindra went top. So the whole file is reversed. I use it a lot.
Yeah.
I use it a lot. వాడు ఎప్పుడో చెప్తాడు, సార్ కెన్ యూ టెల్ మీ వెన్ దిస్ అపాచీ వెబ్ సర్వర్ ఈజ్ ఇన్స్టాల్డ్ అంటాడు. అరే చూడరా బాయ్, ఎక్కడో ఉంటుంది లాగ్ ఫైల్లో అంట. అది ఎప్పుడో 3 years బ్యాక్ ఇన్స్టాల్ అయింది.
సో
ఐ రివర్స్ ఇట్ అండ్ సీ ఇట్. మస్త్ కమాండ్, క్యాట్ రివర్స్ టాక్. దట్స్ ఆల్ గైస్. సింపుల్ స్టెప్స్, బట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ స్టడీలీ. సో రేపు ఎల్లుండ దంచి కొట్టాల తెలుగు. ఓకే, we have to practice a lot, and tomorrow itself we have to host a web server. We want to host a web server tomorrow, just like somebody is having a server, www whatever, I don't know, whatever website you wanted to go. So yeah, so I want all of you to host a web server, just like how I hosted. This is a dummy server, of course. What I hosted is a dummy server, but we want you to host a web server. So how did I do it?
we need a domain, I think, domain address.
All of you have a little $2, 145 rupees spending tomorrow. Be ready.
Yeah.
You have to play with domains. You have to buy a domain. Tomorrow, everybody be ready to buy a domain. Or if you cannot wait until tomorrow, today itself, what you can go is, you can go to namecheap.com. The cheapest, as the name suggests, and one of the best in the world. So for example, I wanted to register a domain. I wanted to register a domain called Abdul. Just type Abdul. Mostly you will not get, all the names will be pre-registered. Abdul is how much?
8 lakhs. Sorry.
82 lakhs.
82 lakhs.
Famous, right? So all, let me see how famous I am. Abdul, you are more famous than me.
Actually, it's a surname common for billions of people.
No, that's okay. There's billions of people. I mean, once it is on the record, I'm recording, but that is okay. I was working for a big company, and I told my CEO, people are using easy passwords. That was 10 years back. I'm talking. Let's bring a new. I'm director of IT then. I'm head of IT basically. I was just a vice president of IT. Then I told my CEO, boss, we should make sure everybody uses strong passwords. And he said, "Nahi re, don't worry. Koi kuch bhi nahi hoga. OTP, GTP, public lagate, two-factor authentication." I said, "Nahi, but we need to have a common agenda. We need to put a 12-character password, Everybody was angry on me. ये बच्चा नया नया अभी अभी कंपनी में आया, इसको लकी से वाइस प्रेसिडेंट का जॉब मिला. There will be there no, I mean generally there will be resistance, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
politics.
Yeah.
So politics, lot of other heads did not listen to me. बोला इसको बहुत घमंड है, अमेरिका से आया, बहुत ये है, आते आते पैंचो ताड़ी क्यूफे कार खरीदा, क्या उसको स्पेशल ट्रीटमेंट दे रहा. I said, I'll plug your bulls. What I said is, I'll do an attack on them. Then I did a spear phishing attack. First of all, I am an ethical hacker. और वो लोग जिधर उंगली नहीं रखना उधर रखा मेरे को.
Phishing, right?
I did a phishing attack. I sent a mail to every one of them imitating my corporate email. My corporate email is admin@company.com. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
So I sent a mail like this, admin@company.com. They could not identify that. Otherwise the mail was looking like all the legitimate like this only.
Yeah,
It's a
regular.
it's a good mail. I said Infosys is having 21 what Infosys Facebook is having 21,000 likes. We are having only some 100 or 150 likes. So all of you please go to your Facebook and start liking our company page. Every Tom, Dick and Harry, including my CEO, went.
Oh,
Now this is not my company page. I'm actually taking them to a dummy page.
yeah, redirecting. Yeah.
I'm redirecting to a page which I created. It looks like original company Facebook page. And do you know which is the password that is used many times?
Password.
No.
Password or
నీకు భక్తి ఉండొచ్చురా భయ్, భక్తిని సర్వర్ వరకు తేక.
oh.
భక్తి లోపల పెట్టుకో. ఓం
Om
సాయిరామ్.
Saira.
Okay.
ఓం సాయిరామ్ is the heavily used జై మాతాది. అరే ఇదేం పాస్వర్డ్ రా, లేకపోతే India@123. ఇదిగో వచ్చింది.
Predictable.
ఇదంతా నేను టౌన్ హాల్ మీటింగ్ అని ఉంటుంది, ఎవ్రీ మంత్లీ మీటింగ్ ఉంటుంది. టౌన్ హాల్ మీటింగ్ లో ఆల్ హెడ్స్ మాట్లాడాలా. నేను ఈ అటాక్ చేసి 99% అందరిది హ్యాక్ చేశాను. ఐ గాట్ 100% హ్యాక్ చేశాను అందరి పాస్వర్డ్. మా దగ్గర ఒక అడ్మిన్ అసిస్టెంట్ ఉండే నాగరాజ్ అని, వాడు క్లోజ్ బాగా నాకు, అంటే అందరికీ అన్ని పనులు చేసి పెడతాడు. ఓకే, వాడు అప్పుడే వచ్చాడు, వాడికి తెలియదు, వాడు ఊరు ఇక్కడే, వాడిది ఇక్కడ వరంగల్ పక్కన ఊరు వాడిది. వాడికి పోయి వచ్చాడు, వచ్చి రావడం అంటే చాలా క్లోజ్. వాడు CEO నుంచి అందరికి, జాబ్ చాలా చిన్న జాబ్, అంటే దాదాపు మాకు నౌకర్ లాంటి వాడు, కానీ ఇట్స్ క్లోజ్ టు అస్. వాడు అక్కడి నుంచి రాఘవేంద్ర సాబ్ మేరా పాస్వర్డ్ దమ్మాయి తో హ్యాక్ కరో బోలా. अरे वो चूतिया, तू भी एंटर करा होगा. नहीं वो मेल फिर मेरे को भेज दो बोला. I sent the mail to him again and he also gave. And what is his password?
Om Saira.
అని నొక్కి పడేసింది ఆ రోజు టౌన్ హాల్ మీటింగ్ లో అందరూ. వాడకో నువ్వేదో పెద్ద తూ జైసా, యూ థింక్ యు ఆర్ ఎ బిగ్ గై and you also have the same, and you are challenging somebody to break your password. So please be careful with passwords. Don't give easy passwords. Don't bring God in the picture. Okay. Number 2, you go there. Once you go there, what you do is you click explore additional extensions, and please go to $2 or less. Somewhere you will find here $2 or less. Here you find cheap extensions, 145, 120. Purchase one of them, all of you. Purchase the least one. Doesn't matter what it is, but it should be the least one. Okay? So do this by tomorrow. If you have money, purchase a better thing. Otherwise, digital is a good thing. You purchase something. See you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.